Morning dear students, let's start our class. Our geography 4 chapter Air. Previous class we are discussed about the major domains of Earth. Which are the major domains of the Earth? Yes. Which are the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere, right? These are the major domains of our Earth. And this chapter we are discussed about atmosphere, right? Atmosphere. What do you mean by atmosphere? Earth have a layer filled with gases. That layer is called atmosphere. Atmosphere can be divided into 5 layers, right? Based on their composition, temperature and other particles or other properties, right? So which are the 5 major layers of atmosphere? Which are they? First layer, that is troposphere. Layers of atmosphere. Which are the layers of atmosphere? Yes, right. First one is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and last one is exosphere. Right. These are the major layers of our atmosphere. Right. So the very first layer, that is troposphere, and troposphere is nearest the Earth's surface, and troposphere have all types of weather conditions like rainfall, storms, and other hailstorms. Right. So these are the troposphere, and this is the troposphere, and troposphere have all types of weather phenomena, and stratosphere free from clouds and all types of weather phenomena. And mesosphere, what are the features of mesosphere? Mesosphere is around the height of 18 kilometers, and the thermosphere, the fourth layer, and the outermost layer, that is exosphere. These are the 5 major layers of atmosphere. Previous class has also discussed about these types of layers and features of atmosphere. And then we are moving towards what? The weather and climate, right? Previous class last topic, that is weather and climate. What do you mean by weather? Weather is a day-to-day or hour-to-hour changes of atmosphere or condition of our atmosphere. That is called weather, right? And we check some examples in our daily temperature or daily weather condition. And also, what do you mean by climate? Climate is the average weather of a specific time period. It is a long time period in a place. That is called climate, right? So today we are going to study about the temperature. Today's topic, that is temperature. What do you mean by temperature? We know that. What do you mean by temperature? When we say we got to the hospital and the nurses should check our temperature, right? And we check this like, oh, you are hot and you have some fever, right? So that is our normal knowing about temperature. That's the same way, and our body has some temperature, but also our atmosphere, our surroundings have some temperature. When the body has some temperature, the same way about our atmosphere have temperature. How the atmosphere holds temperature? We already discussed about the weather condition and the climate condition. So, right, weather and the climate condition. So, it is based on how we calculate weather and climate, how we identify the weather and climate because of the temperature, the range of temperature in our atmosphere. We calculate our weather and our climate. degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as what temperature? Clear? So what do you mean by temperature? Temperature is the degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. So you are familiar with previous class we also discussed our weather condition. For example, Trivandrum have 30 degrees Celsius and Kochi have 32 degrees Celsius and Kollam have 31 degrees Celsius and Palakkad have 33 degrees Celsius, for example. Okay. So what do you mean by this degrees? That is means the degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. This is the degree Celsius is the unit. Which unit we use to identify or measure our temperature? And the standard unit of measuring temperature is known as degree Celsius. So what is the standard unit of measuring your temperature? That is degree Celsius. Standard unit of measuring temperature, that is degree Celsius. Degree Celsius, that is we design this. Okay, so what do you mean by temperature? The degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. One we felt so hot and then we calculate the hotness in the place, that is we call temperature. When we felt very cold, that is also like temperature. So temperature can increase or decrease. When temperature increase, we call that is hotness. When temperature is decreased, that we call coldness. Okay, so the degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. The standard unit of measuring temperature, that is degree Celsius. So we can say we have, for example, we have 30 degrees Celsius temperature or 32 degrees Celsius temperature or 28 degrees Celsius temperature, and we also said that -4 degrees Celsius or -2 degrees Celsius or 1 degree Celsius. What do you mean these? These mean the temperature is decreasing, very decreasing. 30 degrees Celsius and night fell 26 degrees Celsius. And also the season to season the temperature will change. Why the temperature change like this? Because some influencing factors have to change this temperature in our atmosphere. What is the main influencing factor for changing temperature? Which is the most important influence factor? That is insolation. That is insolation. It's very simple. When we get more heat from the sun, that time we felt more and more hot. For example, we imagine this is our sun and this is our earth. Okay, we are also familiar with this the seasons changes and also weather conditions changes, right? For example, this is our earth. The sun, from the sun we get more and more sunrises or heat, sunlight. So the atmosphere of our earth will very hot, very hot. So when the sun rises or sunlight, we get more and more sunlight or sun heat from the sun. At the time we felt very hot. It's a natural thing. So that is the main reason we felt temperature. We felt this temperature. When we get more and more sunlight from the sun, we felt more hot. When we get less sunrises or sunlight, that time we felt very cold. Right. So what do you mean by insolation? Insolation, it is the incoming solar energy with the sun by the earth. Okay. It is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. Okay. What do you mean by insolation? Insolation is the incoming energy. Solar energy means sunlight. Incoming solar energy is intercepted by earth. That is called insolation. Because of this insolation, we felt the temperature on our atmosphere or on our air. When the insolation increases, it's also the temperature will be increases. When the insolation decreases, the temperature will be decreased. Okay, so most important influencing factor of distribution of temperature, that is insolation. So insolation is the influencing factor. Influencing factor to change our temperature. And what do you mean by insolation? That is the incoming solar energy intercepted by our earth. By the earth. That is called insolation. So we already said that when the insolation increases, the temperature of our air or our atmosphere also increases. Right. When the amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles, temperature will be decreases. So we can say that when the insolation increases, temperature also increases. When the insolation is decreased, temperature also decreases. Okay. the northern hemisphere tilts towards the sun, the northern hemisphere gets more and more sunlight. At this time, the northern hemisphere has summer season, right? Have summer season. At the same time, the southern hemisphere have the distance along with the sun. So the southern hemisphere get less sunrises. Because of that, the southern hemisphere felt winter season. That is, we said, the insolation when increases. That means when the earth's surface gets more sunrises from the sun, at that time temperature will be increases and the insolation will be decrease. When the insolation decrease or the amount of insolation or amount of the sunlight we get, that is increase, or that time the temperature will be increased and the amount of sunrises or the insolation we get, that is decrease. When the decrease from the equator towards the poles, the temperature decreases. So this is the season change in the summer and winter season. So we know that this is our earth and this is our equator, this is 0-degree equator, and this is north and this is south. When the poles, or you know that this is the south pole and this is the north pole. This is very distance between the equator, right? So the south pole is away from the equator and the north pole away from the equator. Because of that, the two poles are felt cold. So we can say that the two poles are frigid zones. Frigid zones because the amount of sunrises or amount of insolation is decreased in the poles. Because of that time, the poles felt cold. The other places or other Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn also have some temperature. Right. So here the most important influencing factor for changing the temperature, that is insolation. The insolation is the one of the most important influencing factor to change the temperature in our air or in our atmosphere. When the insolation increases, temperature will also increases, and when the insolation decreases, temperature also decreases. What do you mean by insolation? Insolation is the incoming solar energy that is intercepted by the earth. We also discussed about with this picture. The sunrises fall down in our earth equator. At that time, we felt very hot. So that is the reason. That is called insolation. That is the reason for changing our temperature. Right? Clear? So we also discussed about in our poles, and when the temperature increases or the insolation increases, the temperature will increases, and when the insolation decreases, the temperature will decrease. Right? The same phenomena have happened in our nearest places. For example, villages have very hot and villages have very cold some areas and sometime, at the same time the cities have more temperature. Why? For example, in Trivandrum, we also discussed about the temperature or the weather condition of the cities. For example, Trivandrum have the main city in Trivandrum is the main city in our state, and temperature it is Trivandrum have, for example, to have 43 degrees Celsius. For example, at the same time, we found in the village areas, only have 30 degree or 20 degrees Celsius. Why? The village have less temperature, not less temperature, just less hotness. At the same time, the major cities have right. So in villages we have number of trees and less industries and less factories, and also we have comparatively less air pollution in our villages. Because of that, the villagers felt less temperature or low temperature in the condition of our atmosphere. Okay, so the temperature is one of the major thing or one of most of the important thing in our atmosphere. We don't want to increase our temperature, or when the temperature increase, that means we have some problems, we have some environmental problems, and because of increasing temperature in our surroundings or in our atmosphere, that causes global warming. Global warming is one of the major environmental issue in our world, in our earth. Okay, so we want to protect trees. Trees are the most important sources to produce oxygen, and so and also at the same time the plants need carbon dioxide for their photosynthesis. So when our atmosphere increase or have more and more carbon dioxide or amount of carbon dioxide, it's used, the plants use for plants, that is for their photosynthesis. And after the photosynthesis they release the oxygen. Then because of that we get more pure oxygen for breathing purpose. Okay. So we already discussed about the measurement of temperature. What is the standard unit of temperature? That is degree Celsius. That is degree Celsius, right? Degree Celsius, the standard unit of temperature. And how we calculate temperature? Look at your text, page number 23. We have a picture, figure number 4.3, weather instruments. Weather instruments. We also discussed about our weather condition. We have sometimes we have winter, summer, that is climate and that is seasons. Okay, so how we calculate our temperature? The temperature. Okay, so the measures the temperature that the occupants, that the instrument for measuring the temperature, atmosphere temperature, that is called thermometer. The same thing that is when we felt fever, we go to the hospital and the nurses and doctors check our temperature with the thermometer, right? So the same thing we have to calculate or we have to measure our atmosphere temperature or measures the temperature, the instrument that is known as the thermometer. Thermometer for what? For measuring temperature. Measuring temperature. And look at this picture. This is temperature. This is the picture of thermometer. For use for what? That's used for measuring temperature. That is thermometer. Then the next instrument, that is barometer. That is barometer. That is barometer. Okay. First one is thermometer. We use thermometer for measuring temperature. Thermometer we use measuring temperature. What is the standard unit of temperature? That is degree Celsius. That is degree Celsius, right? That is degree Celsius. And the next instrument, that is barometer. Why we use barometer? For measuring atmospheric pressure. To measuring atmospheric pressure, we use barometer. And the next one is rain gauge. Because what? For what? For measuring the amount of rainfall. Amount of rainfall. And the wind vane. We use wind vane to show the direction of the wind. We can see many places this kind of thing. This kind of something. Right. This is north, south, east, west. When the wind hits, this is rotating and it shows the direction of the winds. That is called wind vane. These are the main weathering instruments. We use different types of weather conditions in our atmosphere. Okay, so what do you mean by temperature? Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness in our air. That is called temperature. That is called temperature. What is the most important influencing factor on how temperature changes? That is insolation. When the insolation increases, temperature also increases. When the insolation is decreased, the temperature will be decreased. Right. And the temperature is all the place outside? No. The temperature is different from place to place, season to season, day and also day and night. Okay. So we also discussed about the condition of a city and a village and a village. And what is the difference between the city's temperature and the village's temperature? City's temperature more than hot rather than the village, because the cities have more and more buildings and a lot of vehicles and traffic and of course there are industries and factories. Because of these types of crowd situation, it gives more and more air pollution. Because of the air pollution, most importantly the amount of carbon dioxide increases in cities. Because of that condition, the temperature also increases in cities. At the same time, the villages have more and more plants and less industries and comparatively less traffic. And because of that, the air the surrounding of village is air pollution will decrease. Because of that, the temperature also decreases in villages. The next concept, that is air pressure. That is, these are the interrelated concepts in our weather and climate. These are the influencing factors of our weather and climate. We also said that the temperature. Just see the case of temperature. When the temperature increases in a place, the particular time, we said the weather is that area is increases also. When the temperature is continuously or the average of this temperature in a place for a long period of time, we say that is climate. So the temperature are the one of the factor of weather and climate. Okay. So the next concept, that is air pressure. That is air pressure. So what do you mean by air? We know that in our surroundings have a lot of gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon and hydrogen, nitrogen. Okay, oxygen, of course oxygen. So the presence of these types of gases in our surroundings, and we use mostly the one air, that is oxygen, for our survival. Okay, so the air pressure. What do you mean by the air pressure? Air pressure is the condition, or it is defined as the pressure exerted by the Second one is stratosphere. And third one is mesosphere. And fourth one is thermosphere. And last one is exosphere. Right. These are the different layers in our atmosphere. Previous class we also discussed the air pressure in these layers. So let's see this. This is the structure of layers of atmosphere. Right. We go up the layers in atmosphere. The pressure of air. Okay, the pressure of air is higher. When we go up troposphere to stratosphere, also the air pressure increases. And we go to stratosphere to mesosphere, that time also air pressure is higher. When we go to the layers, of atmosphere, the pressure of air is also decreases. The air pressure. When we go to troposphere to stratosphere, the pressure of air decreases. And the stratosphere to mesosphere, also the pressure of air that is decreases. Clear? The mesosphere, when we go to mesosphere to thermosphere, we go to the layers of the atmosphere, the air pressure will be decreases. Decrease. So, go up the layers of atmosphere, the air pressure of the air will be decreases. When the air pressure increases, Now, air pressure influence the temperature of the temperature of the air, temperature of air in a particular area or this at the given place. Okay, so what is mean by air pressure? Air pressure is extended to the weight of air on the Earth's surface, that is called air pressure. So when we cloudy skies and wet or and wet. When the low pressure areas and the high pressure area, when we situated or when the area have lower temperature, the air is cold, the heavy air is created a high pressure area. So the opposite condition that is created in the high pressure condition of high pressure area. What is the features of high pressure area? So look at this. When the low pressure area, what is the features of low pressure area? Low pressure area is mainly the temperature high, the air gets heated and rises. So that means the rays gets more and more sunrises from the sun. So the area is very heated, and it's associated with cloudy skies and wet weathers and wet weather. So that is the low pressure area. And what do you mean by the high pressure area? When the high pressure area, the same opposite of high pressure area. In high pressure areas, the weather temperature is very low. We also said that the air is cold and heavy air rain. Air it skins and creates a high pressure area. In high pressure areas is associated with what we also said that the low pressure areas is associated with cloudy skies and wet air weathers, and in high pressure areas it's associated with the clear and sunny skies. Sunny skies. The high pressure area have sunny skies and it's very clear, and that is in summer season we call these high pressure areas. It's or when pressure is increases, the hotness is also increases. So in that time, these are the high pressure areas is associated with clear and sunny skies, and it is also the air is always moved from high pressure to low pressure. So the air is moved from the high pressure area to low pressure areas. So the air moves from the high pressure area to low pressure area. That is called, the moving air is called wind. Right. So the moving air is called wind. So the air pressure is one of the factors that influence the temperature and the weather and the temperature in our atmosphere. Okay. So these are the concepts of today's class. Let's wind up our class. Read your textbook carefully.